الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف بإذن ربه الغمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك وصلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله الطيبين والطاهرين وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we begin as always by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thereafter by reminding ourselves of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in which he said that whosoever doesn't thank the people, they have not thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man la yashkur al-nas, la yashkur Allah. Whosoever doesn't thank the people has not thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in showing gratitude to the organizers of this event for inviting me, I'd just like to thank them for inviting me to this event to speak on this important topic of rights within Islam. I want to begin tonight's lecture, tonight's talk with a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that which is connected within the Sunan of Ibn Majah, upon the authority of the illustrious companion Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he was from the younger companions, not from the elder ones like Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. He was from the younger companions. The Prophet ﷺ was traveling with Mu'adh. The Prophet ﷺ was in the front on his riding beast, and Mu'adh was on his riding beast behind the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ was traveling, and after some time he turned to Mu'adh and he said to Mu'adh, Ya Mu'adh, هل تدري حق الله على عباده وحق العباد على الله? He said, Oh Mu'adh, do you know the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon His slaves? And do you know the rights of His slaves upon Allah? The slaves of Allah, their rights upon Allah. Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he didn't know, and he said to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in response, Allahu wa rasuluhu a'lam. Allah and His Messenger, they know best. So then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he began to explain the rights that Allah has over His slaves and the rights the slaves have over their Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, Haqqullah ala ibadi, that the rights of Allah upon His slaves is that they don't associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La yushriku bihi shay'an. They don't worship anyone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't worship anyone apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the rights of the slave, me and you, our right upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إِذَا فَعَلُوا أَلَّا يُعَذِّبَهُمْ, is that when the slave, me and you, we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, not associating partners with Allah, then our right upon Allah is that Allah doesn't punish us. When we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, we don't go to the grave and we don't make dua to the inhabitants of those graves. We don't make du'as to the saints. We supplicate and make dua and worship Allah alone, solely to Allah. Then our right upon Allah is that Allah doesn't punish us. This amazing hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is the backbone of my talk today, because this shows you a very important point, a very important principle within our religion, and that our religion is built upon rights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Lord and Creator, He Himself has placed rights over Him. He's given us rights. And He Himself has given us rights that we are to expect from Him. Every single role that we play, every single function that we have rights. As an imam, as a husband, as a son, as a father, as an employer, as an employee, as a member of staff in the workplace, I have rights. Every single position, every single role that I have, as a wife, as a spouse, I have rights. This religion, the Sharia, it gave rights to every single role. The Prophet ﷺ, he even gave rights to acts of worship. To acts of worship, meaning with the prayer that we pray, the Quran that we recite, the charity that we give, they have rights. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, أَسْوَأُ السَّرِقُ الَّذِي يُسْرَقُ الصَّلَاةِ. The worst thief isn't the one who robs a bank, isn't the one who goes into Asda and takes everything. The worst thief is the one who steals from their prayer. The companions, they were amazed. The Sahaba, they said, O Messenger of Allah, how can a person steal from their prayer? They said, when the person doesn't fulfill his ruku and his sujood properly. They rush the prayer. When they go into the position of ruku and sujood, they don't fulfill those parts properly. They rush through the prayer, and as a result, they've stolen from their prayer. The acts of worship, the salah that we pray, it has rights over us. As an imam, he has a right, the imam of the masjid has a right over his congregation. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامِ لِيُتَمَّ بِهِ. Verily the imam has been appointed to be followed. The imam has been appointed to be followed. You can't go and precede the imam. When the imam makes ruku, then you can go into ruku. When the imam goes into sujood, then you can go into sujood. If the imam is standing, you can't go into ruku, or you can't go into sujood. This is the right that the imam has over his congregation, over the jama'ah. But at the same time, the congregation also have rights over the imam. The congregation, they have rights over the imam. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, there is a hadith of the companion Mu'adh ibn Jabal, that young companion who narrated the first hadith I began with. He would go and he would lead his people in prayer in Medina, in Quba, which is modern day known as Quba today, where they have Masjid al-Quba just on the outskirts of Masjid al-Nabawi. This is where he was from. So he would pray Isha prayer with the Prophet ﷺ in Masjid al-Nabawi, and then he would go to his area, his community in Quba, and he would lead them in Isha prayer again. And when he would do so, he would make the salah long. He would make the Isha prayer extremely long. The narration mentions he would recite Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah is the longest surah of the Quran. So much so that he would lengthen the prayer that there was a person who was praying behind him, he left the prayer. And people began to accuse him. They said, you're a hypocrite, you left the prayer. How can you leave and break off the prayer? The man said, I left the prayer because I have needs to attend to. I've got work to do, I've got responsibilities that I need to attend to. And so, this man, he went to the Prophet ﷺ. He went to the Prophet ﷺ and he explained to the Prophet the situation. Ya Rasulullah, Mu'adh ibn Jabal, your companion, he makes the Isha prayer extremely long. The Prophet ﷺ, he became extremely angry. He called Mu'adh and he said, أَفَتَنَّا يَا مُعَاذ. Do you want to put the people at trial, O Mu'adh? Because of you, do you want people not to come to the masjid? Because of you, do you want people not to pray in congregation in jama'ah? Rather, when you lead the people in salah, then shorten the prayer. Because behind you, there are those who are weak, and those who have jobs to attend to, and those who have responsibilities. And this is what we find with the example of the Prophet ﷺ, that when he would lead the salah, he would intend, his intention was to make it long, but then he would shorten the prayer. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he would say that I would intend to make the salah long, but then I would hear the crying of a child. A child would be crying in the masjid, and because I don't want to cause difficulty and hardship to the mother of that child, I would shorten the salah. I would make the salah extremely short. So, the mother of that child is put to ease. The congregation, the jama'ah, they have rights. Every single role, every single position that we have, there are rights to be fulfilled. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that even the roads within this religion, the roads, the streets, the pathways, they have rights as well. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith to his companions, إِيَّاكُمُ الْجُلُوسِ فِي الطُّرُقَاتِ. Beware of gathering upon the pathways, beware of gathering on the roads. Meaning, when you gather on the roads, you block the way. As a result, when you gather, you're not able to go through. It's like when people are gathering on the pavement and you can't walk across. Or when on the road, when you have two cars from opposite direction and they stop meeting each other, and they roll down their windows and they're having a full-blown conversation on the middle of the road, and as a result traffic is building up on both sides. The Prophet forbade this. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْجُلُوسِ بِالطُّرُقَاتِ. Beware of gathering upon the roads. The companions, they said, O Messenger of Allah, we have to gather on the roads because we've got no other places to do our business. When we gather on the roads, this is where we do our business. This is where we have our meeting points. This is where we meet with one another. The companions, they never had retail offices, they never had shopping centers like we have today. This is how they would do and conduct their business, and they would meet with others. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if you were to gather on the roads, then give the road its due right. Give it its rights. The companions, they said, O Messenger of Allah, what are the rights of the roads? What are these rights that you're referring to? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, رَدُّ السَّلَامِ وَغَضُّ الْبَصَرِ وَكَفُّ الْأَذَى وَالْأَمْرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيِ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. 5 rights he mentioned. He said, number 1, when someone gives you salam on the roads, then respond to that salam. And lower your gaze. Don't look at those things which you shouldn't be looking at. And restrain your limbs from harming others, meaning don't harm other people physically. Don't be the one to cause fights on the street, physically or verbally. وَالْأَمْرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيِ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. The last 2 rights the Prophet mentioned, that enjoin good and forbid evil. If you see evil and you're able to change it, then change it. And encourage people to do good. Even the roads within our religion, they have rights. As a husband, I have rights. As a wife, I have rights. As a teacher, I have rights. As a student, I have rights. Even our parents, they have rights as well. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, O Messenger of Allah, مَنْ أَحَقُّ مِنْ صُحْبَتِي. Messenger of Allah, who from amongst people has the greatest right to me? Who has the most right over me? The Prophet ﷺ, he replied and he said, Ummuk, your mother. And the man, he said, okay, then who after? The Prophet ﷺ, again, he said, Ummuk. And the man said, okay, then who after? The Prophet ﷺ said, Ummuk, your mother. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Abuk, your father. To show you that the mother in this religion, she has 3 more times rights over her child than the father. Our parents, they have rights over us, that we respect them, that we're good towards them, that we take care of them. We don't just drop them in an old person's home when they grow old, but rather we look after them and we take care of them, because they will be one of the key ways to entering into paradise. I can see many young people and elderly people within our community, within this gathering here that are from our community. Every single one of us, we have rights that are due to our parents. Even if our parents have passed away, they still have rights. What is that right? That we make dua for them, that we supplicate for them, that we give charity on their behalf, that we even be good to their friends. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, he was walking one day and he came across a Bedouin. Do we all know what a Bedouin is? Yeah. Well, what's a Bedouin? It's from the outside, basically. They live in the desert. That's what a Bedouin in Arabic we say in the Arabic language. They come from the outside. They're not from the people in the town, in the city. And as a result, they're rough and tough. They don't have mannerisms because they weren't trained, they weren't educated, they weren't nurtured. They're not like the people of the city or the town. They're from the deserts. So then Abdullah ibn Umar, he came across this man. He came across this man and he embraced this man. He hugged him, he shook his hand, and Abdullah ibn Umar was wearing a turban, and he took off that turban and he put it on the head of that man. Abdullah ibn Umar, his companion, his friend, the person that was with him, he said to him, why did you do this? This is just a normal Bedouin, a normal Arabi man. He said, because my father, Umar radiallahu ta'ala, who was a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was friends with this man. The rights of your parents, if they passed away, is that you're good to those people whom your parents were good to. You maintain a connection and a link with those people whom your parents had a link to. And if they've passed away, you supplicate and you make dua for them. You cannot bring trouble into the household of your parents. If you're living with your parents and you're young, you can't go out and come in the house as you please, because of the rights the parents have in Islam, because the rights that Allah gave towards them. فَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. and be easy with them and lower the wings of mercy to them. وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. And supplicate to Allah and say, "Oh my Lord, have mercy upon my parents, for they took care of me when I was young." The parents in Islam, they have extremely high rights. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, once it was narrated that his mum called him. His mother called him and he raised his voice in response because she was far away, and he responded. And sometimes many of us are guilty of this. Our parents, our mothers, they call us and we're upstairs and they're downstairs calling us to come and eat or something like that, and we raise our voices. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he never raised his voice out of disrespect, he just raised his voice because she was far away. But he felt, after he raised his voice and he responded, he felt that he disobeyed his mother. And so he freed a slave. He freed a slave, and freeing a slave is one of the best acts of worship that we can do in Islam, that was present at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And so this was the great level of rights that the companions would hold when it would come to their parents. But at the same time, as children, as sons and daughters, our parents have rights over us. Our parents, we have rights over our parents. And the rights that we have over our parents is that our parents, they give us tarbiyah, they nurture us, they look after us, they give us the good Islamic upbringing, they teach us about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From a young age, they teach us how to pray, they teach us how to wear the hijab, they teach us about right and wrong. They give us that tarbiyah. When the child, they reach an age of marriage, boy or girl, male or female, it's the right of that child upon their parents that they help them in finding a suitable spouse, a suitable husband or wife. And it's from their rights that as a child, that their parents cannot force them. Their parents can't force them into marrying someone whom they don't want to marry. These are the rights that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. Why? Because Allah has given these rights to the child over their parents. These are the rights that children have over their parents. So every single role, every single responsibility that we have within our lives, every function that we play, there are rights that we have to fulfill. And at the same time, we have to receive rights. There are people who have to give us rights. We have rights over people, but at the same time, we have to fulfill other people's rights. It's not just one way, it's give and take. You fulfill your rights towards others, and others will fulfill their rights towards you. The Prophet ﷺ has rights over us within this religion. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions within the Quran, النَّبِيُّ أَوْلَى بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. That the Messenger of Allah, he has more right to the believers. More right in what? That he be followed. That he be followed, his example be followed, be emulated. There is no other sunnah, no other way, no other path for you to follow apart from the path of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. And when Allah and His Messenger, they decree a matter, they say this is halal, this is haram, do this, don't do this, then it's final. خِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. The believer cannot come and say, we want to choose something else. We want to do something different. They have no say in the matter, because Allah and His Messenger have already chosen it for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they told us to pray 5 times a day. You can't come and say 5 times a day is too much for me. I've got work, I've got university, I've got schools, I've got study. I want to pray 3 times a day. You can't do that because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already decreed the matter. There's a story behind this verse, and it's regarding a companion by the name of Julaybi. And many a times within this talk I'm going to give you examples of the companions because they were the blueprint for success. If you look at their lives, you will understand how they fulfilled the rights of others. Julaybi radiallahu ta'ala, he was from the male companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he wasn't the most handsome of companions, he wasn't the most attractive of companions, and so as a result he was finding it difficult to get married. Women, families, they would reject his proposal, and so he would find it extremely difficult. And so he came to the Prophet ﷺ in a state of hopelessness. That, O Messenger of Allah, no one is accepting my proposal. I'm unable to get married. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he said to Julaybi, O Julaybi, go to this house and ask the people of this house, the mother and the father, for their daughter's hand in marriage. And so Julaybib, he went to that house, he knocked on the door, and he said to the husband and the wife, the mother and the father, that verily I come from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He has sent me. He has sent me to you to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. The parents, they were extremely overjoyed because they thought the proposal had come from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They thought the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wanted to marry their daughter. And that woman, that daughter of theirs was one of the most beautiful women of Medina. And so when Julaybib radiallahu ta'ala anhu clarified, he said, no, it's a proposal for me. The Prophet ﷺ just sent me to your house. They closed the door and they became upset. And they said, could not the Messenger of Allah, the Prophet of Allah, could he not find a better suitor for our daughter? Could he not find a better man, a better husband for our daughter? And the daughter, she was at the back and she was listening behind a veil. And when she heard this, she came out. And she said, my dear parents, my dear mother and father, the Prophet ﷺ has given you something, he's commanded something, and you choose to turn away. And at that point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed this verse, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. That when Allah and His Messenger, they decree a matter, then the believers, they have no say in the matter. If Allah makes something halal, then it's halal. We can't come and say it's haram. If Allah prohibits something, there is no scholar, there is no one, no Muslim that would come and say, no, it's actually halal. Because Allah and His Messenger have already spoken. It's done, it's dusted, it's finished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet have decreed the matter. And so the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has rights within our religion. I've covered a number of different rights, but every single role that we play, we have rights that we have to fulfill towards others, and rights that others have to fulfill towards us. In our religion, the animals, they have rights as well. The animals, they have rights as well. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that is collected within the Sahih of the Muslim, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. That verily Allah has decreed excellence in every single thing that you do. Whatever you do in life, do it with excellence. This is a principle, a qa'idah within our religion. That everything that you do in this dunya, in this life, do it with excellence. If you're an accountant, then do your job with excellence. If you go to school and you're studying for your GCSE exams, do it with excellence. Be at the top of the class. If you're a solicitor working in a law firm, do it with excellence. If you're a butcher at the local meat shop, do your job with excellence. If you're a hafiz of the Quran, ready to lead Taraweeh in the month of Ramadan, do your job with excellence. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah has decreed, He's commanded excellence in everything that we do. وَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَ وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. And when you kill an animal, then do it with excellence. And when you slaughter an animal, do it with excellence. These are the rights that the animal has over us. That when we slaughter that animal, when we kill that animal, that sacrificial animal, to consume its meat, to eat from it, then we do so with excellence. And the Prophet ﷺ, he further went on to say, and do not sharpen the knife in front of that animal, because it causes distress and difficulty for that animal. Even when it comes to sacrificing and slaughtering, the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned the rights of animals and gave us guidelines. This is the beauty of the Sharia, how comprehensive it is. Every single issue that we face, every single problem that we have, if it's pertaining to our dunya, our worldly life, Islam gave it guidelines. If it's pertaining to our akhirah, Jannah and Jahannam, Islam provided guidelines. The animals within our religion, they have rights. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade oppression towards animals. The animals, they have rights. They are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the rights that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed within this religion is the rights of the neighbors. Our neighbors, they have rights over us. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in the hadith, مَا زَالَ يُوصِينِي جِبْرِيلُ بِالْجَارِ حَتَّى ظَنَنْتُ أَنَّهُ سَيُوَرَّثُهُ. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Jibreel, the archangel, the best of the angels who would come down to the Prophet ﷺ with revelation, every time Quran would come, it would be Jibreel's job, alayhi salatu wassalam, to bring down the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Jibreel came to me and he said to me, he stressed upon the importance of the rights of the neighbors. He continued to lecture me, he continued to inform me of the rights of the neighbors and showing good, kind treatment towards the neighbors. So much so, حَتَّى ظَنَنْتُ أَنَّهُ سَيُوَرَّثُهُ. So much so that I thought the neighbors would be from those who inherit. They would be from those who would inherit. They would be the heirs. When we pass away, we have wealth, we have estate, we have properties, we have money. We normally put that in a will for our children. Those people who are closest to us, our children, our grandchildren, our spouse, those people who are closest to us, they will inherit that. They will get all of that wealth, all of that property. The Prophet ﷺ here is saying that Jibreel continued to stress upon its importance, the importance of neighbors, so much so that I thought the neighbors would inherit. They would be from those who would receive a share of a person's wealth after they pass away. That is how much emphasis and how much importance the Sharia Islam gave to the rights of the neighbors. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that a person can earn the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala simply by being good to their neighbors. Every single person that is here, they have neighbors. We have neighbors, sometimes neighbors who are close, sometimes neighbors who are far. But every single one of us has that opportunity to earn the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being good to their neighbor. Even if their neighbor is a non-Muslim, we still have that opportunity of being good to our neighbors. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ, he would do. Being good to the neighbors is fulfilling their rights. And so this religion, it placed a number of different rights, a number of different responsibilities that we have to fulfill, rights that we have to fulfill. From the rights within this religion is the rights of the friends. Friends within our religion, they have rights. Every single one of us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created us as social creatures, social beings. Social beings so much so that we have to interact. We have to have different relationships with other people. And one of those relationships that we have is friends. Friends from school, friends from work, our colleagues. We have various different friends. Friends that we make at the masjid. Every single one of us is friends. But the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that we have rights over our friends, and our friends, they have rights over us. What are those rights? The Prophet ﷺ, he said the most beneficial person in the sight of Allah is that when you see him or her, they remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The right of your friend is that when you see them, they are to remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every time you see them, they remind you to do good. They remind you to do good, and they remind you about worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and staying away from haram. That good friend is the one who, when the time of salah comes, they will take you by the hand and they will encourage you to go and pray. They will encourage you to do good. They will tell you to stay away from haram. But the friend who, when the time of salah comes, it will tell you, let's go do something else, let's go listen to music, let's go do some sort of other haram. It's not fun to pray. The righteous friend, they have rights. Likewise, our friends have rights over us, that when they see us, that we advise them. When they see us, that we advise them, that we help them, that we encourage them to do good. When they sin, and they slip, and they make a mistake, they do haram, because the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمَ خَطَّاء, that every single child of Adam is a sinner. When they make a sin, their right upon us is that we help them and that we encourage them to do good. That's the friend. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions friendship many times in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions الْأَخِلَّاءُ يَوْمَئِذٍ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ. Best friends on the day of Yawmul Qiyamah will be enemies one to another. Enemies one to another, إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ, except for the righteous. Those people who had friendship based upon the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based upon goodness, they would encourage each other to do good. Allah will save them on Yawmul Qiyamah. Allah will save them on Yawmul Qiyamah. They will be from the muttaqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that those friends, they were close in this dunya, but their friendship wasn't based upon taqwa, it wasn't based upon goodness, it was based upon fame. Because they were popular in school, because they were popular at university or college or at work, that's why we were friends with them. We were friends with them because they were rich. That's why I wanted to hang out with them, because they were cool, and so people would look up to them, and so we were friends with them. These type of people on Yawmul Qiyamah, these types of friendship, they will be enemies one to another. الْأَخِلَّاءُ يَوْمَئِذٍ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ. Best friends on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah will be enemies one to another. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions within the Quran something that will happen in Yawm al-Qiyamah. قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِّنْهُمْ إِنِّي كَانَ لِي قَرِينٌ يَقُولُ وَإِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُصَدِّقِينَ. A person will come and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed them with paradise. Then they will say to Allah, "Oh Allah, I used to have a friend in this dunya. What happened to them? I don't see them here today in paradise." So Allah will tell them, "Go and look in the fire of hell. Go and search for them." So this individual, he will come and he will look over the fire of hell and he will see his friend burning in the fire of hell. قَالَ تَاللَّهِ إِن كِدْتَ لَتُرْدِينَ وَلَوْلَا نِعْمَةُ رَبِّي لَكُنْتُ مِنَ الْمُحْضَرِينَ. Allah mentions the statement of this individual, this person. He will look at his friend, because in the dunya his friend was evil. His friend would always do haram. His friend would never tell him or encourage him to do good. His friend was always evil to him. This person, he will look and he will say, "By Allah, I would have been in your situation today. I would have been with you in the fire of hell if I listened to you. But by the ni'mah of Allah, the blessing of Allah, Allah saved me. Allah guided me and I stayed away from you. I never listened to you. And as a result, I have been saved today." Friends in Islam, they have rights. Every single role, every single right, every single position that we have, there are rights that we have to fulfill, and there are rights that we are to receive from other people. And the Prophet ﷺ, and I'm going to end with these last few points inshallah ta'ala, he mentioned that general rights of a Muslim upon another Muslim. My rights towards you, your rights towards me. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, حَقُّ الْمُسْلِمِ عَلَى الْمُسْلِمِ خَمْسٌ. The rights of a Muslim over another Muslim, they are 5. رَدُّ السَّلَامِ وعيادة المريض واتباع الجنازة وإجابة الدعوة وتشمية العاطس. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the general Muslim has 5 rights over their fellow Muslim brother or sister. And then he listed them. And he said, رَدُّ السَّلَامِ, to respond to the greeting of salam. When someone gives you salam, another Muslim gives you salam, then you respond to that salam. And the bare minimum, the right that they have, your fellow Muslim over you, is that if they say to you, if they give you the salams, if they just were to say to you, Assalamu alaikum, the bare minimum is to say, Wa alaikum assalam. And if you were to increase, and you were to say, Wa rahmatullah, or you were to say, Wa barakatuh, then you will have extra reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Raddu salam, number 1. The first right is to respond to their salams. Wa iyadatul marid, and when they become ill, you visit them. That's the right of a Muslim over another Muslim, that when they become ill, you visit them. Why? Because when you go and visit them, the angels of Allah, they supplicate for you. They supplicate for you and they make dua for you. The hadith mentions 70,000 angels supplicate for you when you go and visit a sick person. You go to the hospital and you visit a single Muslim patient, 70,000 angels of Allah will make dua for you. And at the same time, why did the Prophet ﷺ mention this being a right of the Muslim? Because when you go and visit a Muslim who is sick, it will increase the bond of Islam. It will increase the love and compassion between Muslims. This person, this Muslim, isn't related to me by blood. They're not my business partner. They're not related to me through marriage. They're not from my in-law side. But why have they come and visited me? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said the right of another Muslim over another, the right of a Muslim over another Muslim is that they visit them when they're sick. And so this will increase the love and the mahabbah between the Muslims. And as a result, when a person is ill and another Muslim goes to visit them, they'll be able to give them hope. They'll be able to give them hope with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they get better. وَعِيَادَةُ الْمَرِيض, number 2. Number 3 is وَاتِّبَاعُ الْجَنَائِزِ, that when they pass away, that you follow their funeral. You follow their funeral, and this is a right of a Muslim over another Muslim. That when a Muslim passes away, and you've been informed of their janazah, then you should make your level best. You should do your level best in going and praying the janazah over them. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that whosoever prays the janazah prayer for their fellow Muslim brother or sister, they will have 1 qira'at of reward. 1 qira'at of reward. And if after the janazah prayer, they follow that body to the graveyard for burial, they will have 2 qirat. Does anybody know how much a qirat is?
2 mountains of...
Sorry?
2 mountains of... mountains?
Sorry, I couldn't catch that.
Equal to 2 mountains of what?
Yes, Jazakallah, yes. The Prophet ﷺ, he said 1 qirat is equal to the mountain of Uhud. Has anyone been to Umrah here? Has anyone been visited Medina? MashaAllah. So if you see the mountain of Uhud, where the battle of Uhud took place of the Prophet ﷺ, that mountain is huge. If you pray just the janazah prayer of 1 person, you have that whole mountain in reward. And if you follow the janazah, you will have 2 of those mountains in reward. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned وَاتِّبَاعُ الْجَنَازَةِ, the right of a Muslim or the Muslims that you follow their funeral. وَإِجَابَةُ الدَّعْوَةِ, and when they invite you to something, then you accept their invitation. If they invite you to their house, you accept the invitation. وَتَشْمِيَةُ الْعَاطِسِ, and number 5, the 5th right, is that when they sneeze and they praise Allah, then you make dua for them. So when they say Alhamdulillah after sneezing, you say Alhamdulillah, then you ask Allah's rahmah to descend upon them. These are the general rights that Muslims have over the Muslims have over other Muslims. When we have rights being fulfilled, when we don't have rights being fulfilled, then oppression will take place. There will be dhulm. Oppression is one of the most evil of sins that can take place. When you don't fulfill my rights and I don't fulfill your rights, then there's anarchy, there's chaos. Problems will arise. And these are many problems as a result. The problems that we face today in the Muslim community has come as a result of people not fulfilling rights. Not fulfilling rights causes oppression. The month of Ramadan is around the corner from us. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned to us that doing good deeds, you can lose your good deeds when you don't fulfill the rights of others, when you oppress others. So the month of Ramadan is coming and it's a time for us to actually work on fulfilling our rights. The Prophet ﷺ, one day he prayed the Fajr prayer. And then he turned around to his companions and he said to them, أَتَدْرُونَ مَا الْمُفْلِسِ, do you people know who the bankrupt person is? They said, yes, O Messenger of Allah. The person who doesn't, the bankrupt individual person is the one who, they don't have any money. They don't have dinar, they don't have dirham. In today's time, it's someone with an empty bank account. They don't have a single penny to their name. They're bankrupt. But the Prophet ﷺ, he said, no, rather the bankrupt one is the one who will come on Yawm al-Qiyamah and they will have many good deeds. Prayer, fasting, charity, the recitation of the Quran. But then, because they oppressed other people, they didn't dhulm to other people, they didn't fulfill the rights of others, Allah will take those good deeds and transfer it into the account of the person they didn't fulfill the rights of, to the person that they oppressed. And Allah will continue to do them until this person's good deeds have been completely finished. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. And so what will happen? But this person still has more. The person whom they oppressed, they didn't fulfill the rights of, they still have more. Oh Allah, they oppressed me more. So what will Allah do? The evil deeds of that individual, Allah will transfer it to that person. So this person, he began Yawm al-Qiyamah. He or she, they began Yawm al-Qiyamah with good deeds, mountains of good deeds. Now, their balance is minus. They've got good and evil deeds. And then they'll be thrown into the fire of hell. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Arises. Oppression, it arises. And this is what we face in our societies today, that when dhulm arises, then we have so many problems. So the point being here is that when rights are fulfilled, there's harmony everywhere. When a husband fulfills the rights of his wife and the wife fulfills the rights of her husband, there's harmony within the marriage. When a child, they fulfill the rights of their parents and the parents fulfill the rights of their children, harmony is there within a family. In a school, in an education center, in the madrasa, when the child, the student fulfills the rights of the teacher and the teacher fulfills the rights of the student, there is harmony. Within a community, if every single person, I fulfill your rights and you fulfill my rights, we would have the ideal Islamic society. But the first thing that we need to work on, or the main thing that we need to work on, is that we need to learn our rights. We need to learn our rights, and we need to learn the rights that other people have over us. So so that we fulfill every single one of those rights and we're free from oppression, that we don't do dhulm to anyone, so we're safe on Yawm al-Qiyamah, that Allah doesn't take our hard-earned deeds and gives it to other people. What are people's rights over me, so that I can fulfill them? And at the same time, I have rights from others, and I shouldn't go overboard in demanding those rights. And with that, I want to conclude, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khair. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.